Thank you very much and welcome. My role today is really simply to welcome you to Teesside University, and I'm going to use the platform to say something about MEMA and the potential of art to bring together different cultures. I think it's a really important moment today because not least gathering all of you together, but given what's happened in the news that unfolded yesterday evening, this sense that actually this is an important moment where cultures need to spend time together and to recognise each other and to take care of each other. My role is as director of MEMA, and MEMA has been an incredibly progressive organisation pushing agendas about diversity and inclusion and community care, and how can we together contribute to creating a civilised citizenship inside our communities, and what role does culture have in playing a leadership role inside that agenda. And I'm very proud of the role that MEMA has taken within that. And yet, like all organisations, we need to stretch and we need to develop and we need to grow and we need to think more and we need to move ourselves and be part of a movement for change. Because I think it's very clear that if we do not do that, there could be some quite significant consequences in our society at large at this time.
Okay, so our build is delivering you a message of goodwill. Well, that is such a wonderful thing to be able to do. It's a very nice way to enter onto any platform, is to communicate goodwill, because I have absolutely no hesitation in doing that. And I thank Ola for his kind invite and congratulate everybody on this event today. I'm sure you're going to find it very stimulating and thought-provoking.
When BOWMAN to give us a goodwill message representing the Chinese community. A round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Untitled BOWMAN, chairman of Hollywood Chinese Association. Today I'm here, I think it's because the CEO of this Safe Women's organization invited me, is Ola, and he is represent, I said everyone is represent their culture. You know, Ola from the Nigeria, so I think he represents culture. From him, I can find out he is open-minded, he's very supportive. He helped my friend to go to court to become advocates to get more justice for my friend. So I'm very grateful to be here.
It's very important that Laura mentions that. And it's also important for us here in the United Kingdom, because these are difficult moments for us as a country. And there are certain permissions that appear to be been granted in recent months and years for people to say things in a very careless and hurtful way, and I think that we have got to make absolutely sure that we resist that with all of our might, with all our sisterly and brotherly love, that we actually say there's a different way of doing things. And so this event is very appropriate that we have it here today. And I always say that, you know, I am so proud to be the elected Member of Parliament for Middlesbrough, my hometown, because I think it's one of the most remarkable places in the United Kingdom, because we've got an incredible history. And I always say to people, we all came from somewhere else. We're only 200 years old, we're not even that, 1825, four houses, a farmhouse and 25 people. So we all came from other places. And it's fantastic to celebrate the African Commonwealth as it's been so aptly described. To think that we've got to be standing up very, very proudly and saying that that's what we enjoy, that's what we celebrate. And when we've got a national government that has predicated its entire policy on creating a hostile environment. I shudder to think, I sometimes wake up, especially through these recent days and weeks, think, what on earth is happening? What sort of language are we using to describe each other? And when we, as a United Kingdom, have invited people to our country to say, please, can you come and help? And yet we then turn around and say, we're going to create a hostile environment to see you excluded. I feel nothing other than deep shame and sadness. And I want to turn that around on its head, because I want to say, welcome, thank you, you're included, you're valued, you're loved, you're part of us, we are brothers and sisters together. Events such as this today are so well timed for so many reasons. Laura's mentioned the beautiful work that MIMA does, and I think we underestimate the arts at our peril, because we should never ever underestimate the impact of coming together to celebrating different culture and artistic influences, be that through visual arts or through music or whatever it may well be. It's a joy, it's a common language that transcends all cultures and all peoples, and it makes us understand our own humanity so much better. So I really do congratulate MIMA for all their work that they do. And I'm also interested to see this within the pack about the whole issue of women and reoffending. It's a huge issue, and I'm glad that it's here, because it could often be just put in a different box, and I'm delighted to see it large in this seminar and this conference today. I used to serve on the Justice Select Committee, and we've got a crazy justice system. We've got about, I think it's about 86,000 men in jail, about 4,000 women in prison. And quite frankly, the vast majority of those women should not be anywhere near imprisonment. It's not the right way to respond. And when you look at it in great care and detail, you will find that the majority of them are victims themselves to one form of abuse or another. So this is very, very well timed, and we've got to find a way, and I'm doing some work with the Police and Crime Commissioner, from whom you'll hear later, about doing something about some of the convictions that women carry and which blight their lives because they were forced into activity of one form or another out of their control, and that's a crucial issue. So I do congratulate everyone for making this an important part of the agenda. But you know, sorry, I'm going on far, far too long. I'm just really going to turn up at this Why Are We Here exhibition on the 29th of March. I'm really looking forward to that and make that a great celebration. Well, let's do that, and let's make sure that we find opportunities to come together and to celebrate our diversity and make sure that all our voices are heard, because we live in the most beautiful town. It's fantastic how it come about in the first instance. Long may it remain so, but it won't happen unless we put our shoulders to the wheel. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
You know you are welcome. Thank you very much, MP. And at this point, I want to recognize some local organizations that are here. I wouldn't know if there are some organizations present that are here who want to have a wave to us and then probably come up, maybe one after the other, and give us an insight into what your organization is about, if there's someone that can step up to speak for any of the organizations present.
Thanks very much. Thank you for inviting me along this afternoon. I'm really pleased to be here at this fantastic event, bringing the community together in these fantastic facilities at the university. I can see you've had a really interesting programme this afternoon with some really interesting speakers, a number of whom are known to me already, so I can see you've got a high quality bill on today, which is really good. I'm the Police and Crime Commissioner for the Cleveland area, so I'm responsible for policing and community safety in Cleveland, and I see it as really important, a really important part of that. Not just that we focus on policing, but we focus on the wider safety of the community. That's really important in people, particularly very young people, to adopt all the right attitudes in terms of how we move forward. I work with a whole range of different communities and different community organisations to try and promote and encourage tolerance.
Liquid Care Limited, we are proud to be part of a Commonwealth for Africa. Liquid Care Limited is a recruitment agency based in Stockton. We have this organization just to empowerment of everyone, no matter which color we are. Everyone is welcome there to work.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Richard, and I've been on Teesside about 15 years now. I've also been the beneficiary of a few degrees from this university, and my wife as well. We are a religious organization, and the name of our church is the Redeemed Christian Church of God. It is a church that is present in over 190 countries, and at the last count, we were about 650 branches in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So, in the northeast of England, we are in excess of 20, and in Teesside, we're about 4 at the last count. We are inclusive, a part of the Commonwealth for Africa, part of Save the Woman. As a matter of fact, Save the Woman was actually born in our ministry. And we're very, very proud to associate with the CEO, that's Olalekan. A few years ago, we began to realize that we have a lot of people from many countries coming to join the church. So I asked them to actually put up a flag of each country in the church, and at the last count we had about 15. So that being the case, we realized it's important we have what is called an International Sunday. So that International Sunday, we recorded over 150 people of diverse nationalities. Seeing that, they said, okay, let's take it to the community. So in 2016, July, we actually organized an International Day. So that was organized outside the four walls of the church, right into the community. And it was really impactful. The testimony, the stories are still coming up till now. So we believe that that is the way it should be on Teesside. That's how we have always lived our life. And when this came into the picture, when it came into the equation, we realized this is a very, very good platform by which we can promote what we have always believed in. So I'm so proud to associate with the CEO. I'm proud to associate with the Commonwealth of Africa, and even all the other events that has been held in the past, which I can't remember their name. I have never missed any of them because I know that we are working and facing the same direction. So I appreciate everyone who is here, and thank you for finding time to be a part of this and to support the vision Commonwealth for Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we want to carry on now. I would like to invite Ada Naya. Thank you. She's a representative of the Asian community steps teams. You're welcome.
Thank you. First of all, I like to thank Ola. He's a very keen observer, and he just look around what is going on in the communities. And because I was giving opportunity to say something about the goodwill message. So I want to show the strength from my community because I believe on the diversity and I believe on social integration. So definitely I will be with you always whenever you need any help or any support. So actually I am the chairperson of the group Steps Tees, and our group is within our group we have a diversity because from the different nationalities the people are in our group.
Wow, brilliant. That's really great. It's wonderful when in their young ages we're able to ingrain our cultures in the little ones and the youth, and they are able to magnify the similarities we have. It's such a wonderful thing, and it's very well encouraged.
Hello. Hello. Thank you, Ola, for inviting me to share some words with these good people. So when Ola called me, I must admit, at first I said to him, Commonwealth, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to be part of that. And he asked me why. I said, I don't think I want to have a pity party about the fact that I was colonized. What's there to celebrate? And he said to me, that's exactly why you should come. So I did, and therefore I am here. So today I want to speak to you about building a Commonwealth for Africa. In a sense, shifting from this focus on Great Britain, as you can see, the Queen taking center stage and my president over there, but to more of a focus on us and who we are as Africans. I also want to link this talk, what I'm going to talk to you about today, with today's message over here that says we are going to talk about the state of African economic base in the United Kingdom. So that is what I am going to link these two.
I think to you, maybe you seldom see the Chinese speaking in this country. I think I also present part of a Chinese culture here. And our culture is a kind of tolerance and then very reserved. This reason, but we're very hardworking, but we like to share the happiness. We also don't fear to talk about money. Our New Year is we say 恭喜发财. It means I wish you win the lottery. That's what every day we say to everyone, because we know money is so important, and we believe the money can buy you happiness. We believe ourselves. We just don't believe people lie to you. The money can't buy the happiness. Money can buy the happiness. This reason we talk about the enterprise. So how can we, now the Chinese government is talk about how to improve people's living standard. The whole country just want to crack down the corruption. The corruption just say, don't let the small people eating your food, like big cake. The one person can eat all your cake. They can be greedy. You can only allow smell, So that is wrong. So our government said we crack down the corruption and to bring the happiness to people. I think why we are together, because we all want to be respected. We all want to be have a better life. Our life is limited on the earth, but universe is vast. So our life actually, we are so tiny, but sometimes, although we're tiny, we still want to achieve the perfectness. And so I also I talk about I like the African people, not because you invite me here, it's because I really in your life. People invite me to the birthday, invite me to the wedding, and then I found out my African friend is very humorous, and then they also dressed up the hair, made the hair beautiful. They are so stunning, So this reason sometimes I wish you to be proud to be yourself, proud to be your color. We class ourselves yellow, but when I was young, they say I'm like an African, because my skin compared with Chinese is a little bit, dark. So they call me African. So I think color is no meaning here. And I wish you proud of your culture because you have produced Obama, you have produced Martin Luther King. We still working hard to fulfill Martin Luther King's dream, because his dream said, one day I wish our children will not be judged by their color, they only be judged by the competence, their excellence. This is something his meaning. Thank you so much indeed. Bye.
I was going to touch on is around networking. And networking I tend to look at things from, I'm one of those people that like to describe things from a very small beginning, because I think sometimes the foundation is crucial. I work with a number of young people, and I also mentor quite a lot of people, directly and indirectly. And one of the things that I believe, in my experience, I found wanting or lacking is lack of networking amongst Africans. And I'm not just talking networking Hi, how are you? There's an assumption that we do it very well, and sometimes we do it very well with people we know. But when we're in a totally different environment, in my experience, I can say that, at least authoritatively where I am, I don't think we network well enough to take advantage of the opportunities that are sometimes in front of us. The opportunity could be knowledge, other people's knowledge. There's a saying that says it's not what you know about a person, it's about what you know about who they know, or what you know about what they know.
Specialist employees to do some of that work. So we have a hate crime investigator, 2 hate crime investigators who've got over 200 charges for people against hate crime in the last year. We've got early intervention coordinators who work with young people and families who are in difficulty. We've got an asylum seeker and refugee coordinator who works with those people who are fleeing persecution from other countries and have come here, and they've been doing some really good work. I've also done we've done quite a wide-ranging training programme for our staff called Everyone Matters, which is all about equality, diversity and human rights. I've set up an anti-trafficking and slavery network in Cleveland to again bring together organisations who will support people who are victims of trafficking and slavery, and that's been meeting earlier today. I've got a strategic hate crime group which brings partners together. So we look at preventing hate crime, we look at tackling it, we're looking at bringing prosecutions against people who are committing hate crime. We have independent advisory groups in each of the 4 boroughs in Cleveland who act as a constructive challenge to the police and give advice and support and ideas as to how we can better police the Cleveland area. I've done a lot of work around supporting organisations committed to tackling honour-based violence and forced marriage and female genital mutilation as well. I work with Show Racism the Red Card, who work in schools across the Cleveland area. In the last year, Show Racism the Red Card has worked in 12 different primary schools across Cleveland. They've spoken to nearly 1,300 children, and over the next few weeks they're going to be working with another 7 schools, and will work with another 500 children in that. I was at the Riverside Stadium yesterday. The football club are very supportive of Show Racism the Red Card. And I'm also involved in a lot of community events. I support. I'm pleased to be here. Thank you for inviting me along. I'm a really important partner for you in terms of the work that you're doing going forward in terms of promoting the Sister New York community. And if I can help in that way, I'm really too happy to. So thank you very much.
Right, so my name is Martina Attil. I'm a first-year research student at University of the Arts London, London College of Communication. My research is about looking back at film culture, Black British film culture, and seeing what can be retrieved to be useful in the future. A term I coined to frame that research is African descent. It's a term that sounds like African descent, but also is a combination of Africa and candescence, which means light. And the hope of that term is that it underpins a joy and celebration of African heritage and culture, not looking back retrospectively, but very much taking advantage of the contemporary opportunities we have in our 3rd and 4th generation young people of African heritage. So I'd really like to build on the concepts that Dr. Kende presented us with, beauty, love, accountability, courage and knowledge. And each
organization called Global African Congress. This organization was created after our experience at the UN World Conference Against Racism. Our organization's primary role is a campaign for reparation and repatriation because of enslavement and colonialism.
International Decade for People of African Descent in its UK coalition. The United Nations dedicated a year, 2011, to people of African descent because of what has been said today. so forcefully. We know that we have suffered in the past, suffered dreadfully, and the United Nations, being a point of contact with all of humanity, realized that 2011 was not enough to repair the damage that was done to African people, people of African descent. Therefore, it set up a decade, which began in 2015. It ends in 2024. So we are in the middle of it right now. And the ID Pad Coalition UK seeks to bring together African-led individuals and organizations to deal with this situation, this window of opportunity that we have to redress the grievances that apply to our state in every country on earth. It's a United Nations mandate. Of course, when Britain was asked to support this mandate, they said, we are already doing enough for those citizens of African descent in our midst. And we challenged that statement, very much so, because there are grievances that run deep in our society today, here in the UK, that need redress. And we have to wake up to that fact and to use this window of opportunity to challenge state institutions, legal processes, situations of overrepresentation in prisons, in mental institutions, and all the other evils that beset particularly people of African descent in this country. And in proclaiming the decade, the international community, not just the heads of state, the UN is made up of communities of people. So we have the right to speak to this decade and to do what we can, what we see fit during this decade, so that at the end of it, we are far better off than at the beginning of it.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. How wonderful it is to be here tonight. I apologise already for being a bit late. I've just come from Middlesbrough Council Chamber, from a council meeting where I spoke indeed about human rights just briefly right now. Interestingly, I'm called Alma Hilawi. My name is an African name. My husband is from North Africa, from Algeria, and half of my family is therefore Black African. So I feel partly African myself, and I'm very honoured to be part of a diverse family and a diverse community. As a councillor, I represent a part of the town called Newport, councillor for Newport Ward, which must be one of the most diverse communities in the entire town. In the local Newport school, where I am one of the governors, I think we have over 50 languages spoken. So and I remember what my dad always used to drum into us. And he was extremely proud of his two daughters, and we knew we were highly valued and treasured by him. And he used to say to us, when we were little, you are the best people in the world. You two, my daughters, you are the very best. Nobody's better than you. He used to say, not even the Queen, because she was much more revered in those days. Not even anybody. You are the best. And we were going, oh, yes, marvellous, the best. And then he used to, but remember one thing. You are no better than anyone else in the entire world. You are no better, though you are the best. And I think that radically and fundamentally, my dad added, rests deeply in my bones, that in all humility, I always think of myself as being equal to everyone else. Different, but equal as a human being.
Getting involved in the community. I think Africans, we've got a lot to offer, and we've got the potentials. We do have the abilities, the capabilities. We have the skills that we can use to shape our communities.
Where the church is now, I would suggest that the church may still need some reconstruction when it comes to, helping individuals to be able to grow up economically.
A very, very big round of applause for Ola. Come on, come on, come on, come on. For every single person who works behind the scenes. For our guest speaker all the way from Leeds, I'm from Bradford as well. Big shout out to Dr. Come on, round of applause. For the MP who has already been, for the councillor, for Mima, for every single person, and more importantly, for yourself. Give yourself a round of applause. Because let's face it, the truth is, without you, there would not be any of this. Oh, and look, you put this together. Look over there from Teesside University. Let's give him a big hand as well. The truth is, without you, we will not be here. So we've heard a lot today. And in one 10-second gap, I want you to reflect. I'm giving you 10 seconds because they only gave me 2 minutes, so blame them. But this is part of what I do. I want you to reflect. They said something very powerful. Someone said it. Lots of people have said it, so I don't know who to quote. But anyways, a dream written down. Children, can you guess? If you have a dream and you write it down with what's so important, you have to put something to that dream. They normally write it here. If you have a dream, you need to write it down with a date. Okay? If you write it down with a date, it becomes a goal. You say, oh, by the time, this time next year, 15th of March, 2020, I want to do this. And if you have a goal, you break it down into steps. That's a plan. And if you have a plan that you take action in, guess what? Ta-da! It makes your dream a reality. About think, invest. Here I am. Last time you guys saw me, I created something for Christmas. This one is for everyone who has anyone in their heart that they love. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm very creative, and I work with children. So there's so many ways we can link up. So if you want to sow or give or whatever, or support, manage, join our team. This is a heartboard. You just write, address it with the Sharpie from, to, is it, what do you put on top? Two, yes, with love to my darling daughter, love mom and dad, right? Is that how you address it? I don't know, but anyways, I've got these and I'm selling them just today, £5.50. 10% of whatever you pay, I will donate to Save the Women, just as a goodwill gesture. Saying thank you to you as well.
To call Olalekan now to give us the closing remark and also tell us about the Black, Asian and minority ethnic community in Teesside.
Thank you very much. I'm highly honored to be here, and I would like to say thank you very much, in particular to Teesside University Marketing Team Department, because when I want to talk about this event, they are the ones I first contacted, and they said, don't worry, Ola, you've got Luke, who is going to be managing the event, planning everything, and it went fine. And also to everyone that came around, I must say thank you very much to the Chinese community, to the Asian community, to other black community, and to white community. Everybody, we said, don't say about color, say about culture, say about yourself, the value you have in yourself. Thank you for that. With what you just asked me to do now is about Black, Asian ethnic minority. Middlesbrough is diverse, it's the second in the Northeast, and we want to cherish that opportunity. So, like when as mentioned, I also work as an advocate for the Black, Asian ethnic minority community. It's about speaking for the rights, about standing for the justice and for recognition, and also to stand for people's rights. It is very difficult when you want to speak for people's rights because it's a difficult conversation. However, this environment is giving opportunity to listening and to hear. And thank God we've got our local councillors and we've got our member of parliament. They are also part of this system and they are supporting us with necessary support. So if you like to have anything to do with that, just email us through this event. You can follow us on Facebook, you can follow us on Twitter. And recently we have already formed a team called Teesside African and African Caribbean Community Network. It's going to be registered soon with the Student Union of Teesside here. And also, the basic of this is to network ourselves with local organizations. And I would like to say a big thank to Abby. She has been so supportive to our community all along the while. And lastly, if you look at this program, I think if you go to page 5 of it, Save the Woman aims to secure an African art and event space, a cultural hub for the African diaspora and friends of the African community, a place of love and a required attention. This is a kind of hub that we are trying to raise awareness, to raise funds for, so that you will see a place you come to, like they've mentioned, don't talk about your color, but talk about your culture. So we want to maintain that our culture, so that everybody will know, even the young children coming up, they will also embrace that culture and they will not be alienated from their community. So if you love to be part of that dream to come true, MIMA has been doing a great job. This one is just to complement. It could be side by side. If you leave MIMA, come to Africa Hub. If you leave Africa Hub, go to MIMA. It's about promoting the art and culture. So we've got our Save the Woman account details there, and the source code, the bank code is there, and we've got online donation as well. If you are type of people that so much love social media, you'll see the link to donate through the Just Giving page. Once again, thank you very much, and I really appreciate all our speakers. They came from London, from Bradford, from Leeds. This is about oneness, coming together, working together, and building this community together. Thank you very much, and I wish you safe journey.
The refreshment. Thank you. You can't pay.